Hare Krishna. I welcome everyone to Bhakti Sangha Japa conference call. Thank you so much for joining today and giving us your most valuable association. Today we are very, very fortunate to have amongst us a very wonderful speaker, His Grace Pran Govind Prabhuji. Pran Govind Prabhu has been practicing Krishna consciousness for about 42 years. He has progressed in a spiritual journey by leaps and bounds. Presently, he is not only a Bhakti Yoga practitioner, but also a preacher, a reformer, and a great personality, changing lives of conditioned souls by the magic touch of his spiritual insights in Krishna consciousness. He very sincerely and generously gives classes in Alachua temple, and he's an expert in Vedic scriptures like Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Srimad Bhagavatam, Madhurya Kadambini, and other scriptures. So it's a great fortune for us to have Prabhuji on the call with us today. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. You can now take over the call. We are reading from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Leela, chapter 23, and the verse number is 86 onwards. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya, Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Daita Chandra, Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya, Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Daita Chandra, Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya, Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Daita Chandra, Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. First of all, I like to pay my humble obeisances to our spiritual master, His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada, entire Guru Parampara, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, who composed this Chaitanya Charitamrita, and to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Panchatattva Bhagavan, who came to relish the highest nectar, and whatever was left over, Srila Prabhupada says, after Chaitanya Mahaprabhu tasted, whatever was left over, that became Chaitanya Charitamrita. So we are very fortunate to have that access to relish, which is extremely rare. So I bow down to the lotus feet of Guru Parampara and to the begging mercy also to all the assembled Vaishnava and Vaishnavis to bless me and empower me and pray for me so I can be used to say something that will be affecting to the heart of all, including mine, so we can purify ourselves. So we are serving Madhya Leela, chapter 23, text 86. Tell me if it is the same thing. Ananta guna Sri Radhikara Pochisha Pradhana, Jai Guner Bos Hoy Krishna Bhagavan. Ananta gun Sri Radhikar Pochisha Pradhan. Panchis Pradhan. Jai Guner Boss Hai Krishna Bhagavan. Srila Prabhupada translate, similarly, Srimati Radharani has unlimited transcendental qualities, of which 25 qualities are principal. Sri Krishna is controlled by these transcendental qualities of Srimati Radharani. In the beginning of Chaitanya Charitamrita reciter, I always say that there should be some motivation and also removing of the doubts. In 1974 to 75, Srila Prabhupada was translating up to 10th canto, 13th chapter Bhagavatam, and then he stopped. He had some time, but instead of Bhagavatam continued, he started Chaitanya Charitamrita. The question may rise, why Srila Prabhupada so nicely, compassionately choose Chaitanya Charitamrita instead of finishing the Bhagavatam? There must be some secret. So different devotees converse about it. And Srila Prabhupada also himself expressed that what depicted in Bhagavatam about dharma, everyone is born with prarabdha karma. What came when you were born, you cannot destroy this without experiencing it. Chaitanya Charitamrita also explained this. Bhaktivinoda Thakur elaborated in his commentary. Gyani gyano juge koriya jatane brahmere sakshatkari. Brahma sakshatkar aprarabdha karma sampurna genete hare. Kintu prarabdha karma kabu nahi khay phalo bhogo vina kabu. Brahma bhutaji phalo bhoga lagi janama marana labu. So we are born with particular combination of karma, reaction of karma that we will go through experiencing in this life. But we are not born with duty. What is the duty that we have to perform while we are experiencing this karma? And especially to those devotees, those souls who have adopted bhakti path, Krishna consciousness. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Dharma sthapan hetu sadhur vyavahar. He is going to establish the duty of the conditioned soul who comes to Krishna consciousness. So he brought all his associate, Parshad, and their behavior, like Prabhupada's character, Prabhupada's behavior, his conversation, that's what became actually ISKCON. Prabhupada had a morning walk, and then he came and sat down on a Vasasan, and he started Guru Puja. They asked him that, can we do this every day? Prabhupada said, yes, that will help. So their behavior, their practical revealing their intention, inner motive, became a standard, or you can say, what is the duty for ISKCON followers is established by Prabhupada by his practical day-to-day activities. What he has given commentary on Bhagavatam and Chaitanya Charitamrita, that when we read, then we can apply this in our life. So Srila Prabhupada saw that Bhagavatam is giving the great souls characters, loving relationship with the Lord. But how to display, how it demonstrated in front of us, that was displayed by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So instead of finishing Bhagavatam, he came to Chaitanya Charitamrita and he wanted to finish it. And he did, which was a very mystical, a big pastime of that. But today, this discussion, that all these important slokas of Bhagavatam, if anybody is curious to know what are the most essential principles is written in Bhagavatam, well, you have to read Chaitanya Charitamrita, because Chaitanya Charitamrita has all the important verses of Bhagavatam. So Chaitanya Charitamrita, of course, I'm sure the audience member, you must have studied already Bhagavad Gita, I'm assuming. Act of devotion, act of instruction, and then Bhagavatam. Then you come to Chaitanya Charitamrita, which is postgraduate, Prabhupada says postgraduate study course. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was the leader, ideal preacher of this Krishna consciousness movement, or you can say of Srimad Bhagavatam. So he personally was demonstrating his lifestyle and behavior, how to deal with the karmis, with the jnanis, and how to deal amongst us, amongst Vaishnavas, how to respect, and what to tolerate, how much to tolerate, how much to forgive, what to forgive, not forgetting. So these topics actually demonstrated through his Parshad associates. So it is most important that Chaitanya Charitamrita should be studied by every member and understood. Especially he demonstrated during the Ratha Jatra festival, and we observe Ratha Jatra in every big city almost in the world. We just had New York Ratha Jatra. And every day Mahaprabhu used to daily chant japa. He did kirtan. He honored prasadam. This is what we do. And these are more demonstrated in Chaitanya Charitamrita than any other literature. That's why it is very most important that every devotee participate in Chaitanya Charitamrita study. Now, just in a few minutes description, what is the falashruti, or what are you going to get, and how the result is produced when we hear Chaitanya Charitamrita. Are we expecting something to happen in our heart, some movement? Well, three things causes to see the effect, proportion to our conscious acceptance. Srila Prabhupada told this to Bhagavan Das also in a letter. The first requisite to see result, in America they say, don't judge a book by its cover. So first thing, you have to have a faith on Chaitanya Charitamrita. You must have a faith on Vrindavan Das Thakur, you must have a faith on Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami, that they are exalted eternal associate, came down here just to give us this opportunity to go back home, back to Godhead. But more than that, an intimate relationship with the Lord in the Brajabasi's mood was never displayed ever before. So it is very important that we develop a strong faith. Of course, that's individually I'm asking the audience. How much faith you have, how much you really believe. And two other things. If you are free from any four types of offense, like Vaishnava Aparad, Seva Aparad, Dhama Aparad, Nama Aparad, and one more thing. Do you want the benediction that Prabhupada wrote in the introduction of Chaitanya Charitamrita come to your heart and manifest? If you have that strong desire that, yes, you want to enter to that Braja Bhakti, and you have a strong faith on Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami, and you don't want to commit offense, and you don't have any offensive mentality, then definitely you will get full result that you can experience in your heart when you read Chaitanya Charitamrita. So this is very nice. Just to, in Madhya Lila 9 chapter 361, Prabhupada says that sloka, Chaitanya Charita suno Shraddha Bhakti kari, Matsurja Chariya Mukhe Bala Hari Hari. So if you hear this Chaitanya Charitamrita with faith, with devotional mentality, then you don't have a enviousness, then when you chant Hari Hari, you will have this ecstasy feeling. And if you are not feeling, then you have to introspectively check your heart condition. So now we'll start from where you had left last time, that here Srimati Radharani's unlimited qualities explained, but by the mercy of Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, he gives the prominent 25. In the beginning, I'm sure many of you already read that the most important of this universe, the entire universe, most important place is this earthly planet, Bhumi. Why earthly planet is most important in the whole universe? Because Bharatvarsha is there. Why Bharatvarsha is most important? Because Brajabhumi Vrindavan is there. Why Brajabhumi Vrindavan is most important? Because the Brajabashis have an intimate relationship and they're serving the Lord in that mood. Lokik Sadbandhuvat. Krishna, Supreme Absolute Truth, as a family friend, family man, family friend with each Brajavashi. Why the Brajavashis are the most important? Because there is an incessant flow of transcendental loving, mellow attraction between Radhika, Srimati Radharani and Krishna. This attraction is the root cause of everything and anything. Whether you are in America or in India or human body or even exist as a soul or servant, all this question has root in that there is a tremendous, incessant, uninterrupted attraction between Shakti and Shaktiman. Supreme Absolute Truth Krishna and his only Shakti, Srimati Radharani. Because of that attraction, the entire spiritual manifestation took place and extended to material universes or manifestation took place. That was the root cause. So it is always good to know this, that everything ultimate purpose is for the pleasure of Radha and Krishna. Then those who are hearing, you're thinking like, okay, we are reading Chaitanya Charitamrita, so nicely explained about Srimati Radharani's beautiful quality. And we glorify Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Chaitanya Chandamrita. Srila Prabhupada loves Chaitanya Chandamrita. He quoted many verses. And one of the verses is, Prema Nama Adbhuta Artha Sabana Pathagata Nam Nam Pathagata Kasya Nam Nam Mahimna Kovetta Kasya Vindavana Vipina Mahamadhurishu Pravesha Kova Janati Radham Paramarasa Chamatkara Madhurja Simam Ekas Chaitanya Chandra Parama Karunaya Sarvam Avishchakara. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to give 4 things the most important. The 4 things most important. We should always remember this. Why? Because no incarnation ever given this. You will be surprised that Vishnu Puran is adored by Ramanuja Sampradaya devotees, and they do study very thoroughly. And Radhika's glory was actually even there in one section of that Puran, glorified. Sattam 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 eva puna puna Bina Radha Prasadena Nalabhate Mat Prasadat Nalabhate. Even though the most secret things are mentioned, but difficult for somebody to even think that they can get that. It is not possible. Because it has to be given only by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So anybody accepted Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his shiksha, teachings, they can get this, the highest conception of existence. Bhakti and bhakti rasa are not same thing. Right now we are talking about bhakti rasa. First we understand what bhakti is, then bhakti rasa. 4 acharyas, they gave bhakti, but bhakti rasa was never given until Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came. And we can explain that little bit. But first, these 4 things. First is prema nama adbhuta artha. What is the glory of this prema nam that was never known to this world or to anyone? What is the significance? First of all, if you are not a Brahmana, you could not even utter the mantras of the Shastra. You have to be born in a Brahmana family. So Mahaprabhu even changed the format. He even made glorious that format of the uttering the mantra, that Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And then he started with Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And he made eligible for every soul, every conditioned soul, even the dog, even the animals can be delivered and get the highest bliss just by chanting this Hare Krishna Mahamantra. And more than this, that this Hare Krishna Mahamantra, somebody may say, I remember we met someone in Vrindavan, a big acharya of their society, and they chant, Radhe Sham, Sham Sham, Radhe Radhe. So then the question comes that why not we chant Radha Krishna, since they are the ultimate goal? Why we are chanting Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna? Because Sabana Patagata Kasya Nam Mahimna. This Hare Krishna Mahamantra has more glorious than any other name. Why? Because all the names are there within Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Not only that, it gives most confidential secret of divinity. The first our attraction, that all pervasive, supreme, absolute truth, and we see everything is related to that. Then you get liberated and you go further and you come to a point where your attraction to the awe and reverence develops. When you hear the majestic aspect of God, naturally it evokes the awe and reverence. Submission must take place, which is necessary. Surrender has to be there. But if you go further up, Sanatana Goswami Pad, this life's ultimate goal, this chapter is explaining that if you go further up, then you start hearing the sweet pastimes of the Lord, His relationship, especially headed by Srimati Radharani, who is endowed with unlimited beautiful quality just to please the Lord. And when you hear these sweet pastimes, that it evokes your affection for Krishna, affection for God. So with submission and affection for God, then it becomes complete. You become joyful. You cannot trace any conception or any view or any theology ever existed to give that highest conception. This is very, very important. That how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to give this, that the love of Godhead he braided with the holy name. So when we chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra, it is Krishna and Srimati Radharani plus more bhakti is there. When you add bhakti with the supreme absolute truth, then it is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, what he came to give, it is never given. It cannot be explained in 45 minutes. It has to be whole life research, and we should drown into that ecstasy. And then the third one he came to give, Kovetta Kosya Vrindavana Vipina Mahamadhurishu Pravesha, about the glories of Vrindavan. That's why Srila Prabhupada quote this verse, Aradha Bhagavan Brajesha Tanaya Tadhama Vrindavanam Dhamma Kachit Upasana Brajabadhu Variganaya Kalpitam Srimad Bhagavatam Pramanam Mamalam Prema Pumartham Mahan Sri Chaitanya Sari Mahaprabhu Matamidam Tatra Dharayana Paraham. That we worship Krishna, we worship also Vrindavan Dham, they are equal level. Why? Because that is Srimati Radharani's manifestation. Why Srimati Radharani served Krishna? And Brajavasi, they are as important with the Lord. You know, logically if you go, what value of a king if there is no kingdom? What value of a king if there is no citizen? What value of the citizen or kingdom if there is no ideal king? So Vrindavan and Krishna, Srimati Radharani is a complete, no question will rise. Recently I was talking to, I do sometime interfaith, to this priest. He comes from India and he conducts in a Catholic church here. And we're discussing about the divinity. It was very sweet. And I said the main part of goal that gives the highest pleasure to the Lord and to His servant is due to the loving sentiment that His eternal consort has. Sometimes if we ask that, do you know the queen? You say we should pray God like a father of the heaven, king of the heaven. Very good. What is the name of the queen? And what is the service of the queen? So then, of course, not that information is not there in the most of the literature in this world of other religion. When you ask that what is the queen of the divinity or spiritual world, we immediately say Srimati Radharani. So Radharani's position is so exalted. And this is the last part Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came. What is it? Koba janati radham paramarasya chamatkaro madhurjasima. Koba janati. Even one great associate, Vasudev Ghosh wrote, Jodi Gauranga na hoito tobe ki hoito kemone dhori tamde. Radhara Mahima Prema Rasa Sima Jagati Janatoke. We should bow down to those associates and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu for giving us such a highest conception of the glory of Srimati Radharani, which was never given, never explained anywhere in any scriptures until Mahaprabhu came. It was never revealed. It was hidden. Even though people came to know, people even challenged, but until Mahaprabhu came, the glory of Srimati Radharani was not there. So we should not take lightly that, okay, the consort is there of the divine, supreme absolute truth, Krishna. Her name is Radharani. Not like this. Radharani, all this quality, of course, is not limited, but because we are limited, so they are trying to give us something we can grasp. And this 25 quality, I'm not sure how you proceed. Do you talk about each quality, or you elaborate each quality, or you just read through to finish the chapter? How you're going to proceed? I'm sure the host going to explain probably. But just to make it in a little more clear, that Supreme Absolute Truth is always complete. Always complete. There is nothing ever needed in Absolute Truth. When the conception, as I mentioned, that rises to the highest domain called Krishna consciousness. Before that, the other aspect of God concept is there. Paramatma concept, all-pervasive concept, localized concept, and reverence, Aishwaryamoy Bhakti, Narayan concept is there. They are also all Krishna. Siddhantastu abhedopi Sisha Krishna Swarupaya. We will commit offense if we think there is a difference between all this expansion of God. This is not proper. It's all Krishna. And we sing in Dasavata Stutram, Keshava Dhita, Meena Sarira, Keshava Dhita, Sukara Sarira, Keshava Dhita, Narahari Rupa, like this. Krishna who assumed, the Keshava who assumed the form of Matsya, Kurma, Varaha, Nishinga, Vamana, Rama, Parashurama, like this. It is Krishna. So they are all Krishna manifested in difference. But then question comes that why there's so many manifestations? How Krishna decides? Krishna does not decide directly. It is Radharani infuse that devotion, Amurta Rupam, through her agent called Guru, that gives us the bhakti, and then the devotee, according to devotee's desire, Ekei Vigrahe Kare Nana Karo Rup. One form, Krishna, but takes many manifestations. Why? Because each devotee, each soul has a particular quality to love the Lord in a particular way. That's why each of us are important to Krishna. We should remember always that we should respect each soul, because to Krishna a particular sentiment is given to that soul, and the soul is the shelter of that love. And for Krishna to offer Krishna, and Krishna as a Vishay to enjoy that love. So from that angle, each soul is as important as myself to Krishna. Because particular sentiment to given each soul cannot be replaced, cannot be forced or duplicate. So therefore we have to be very careful that each soul has a particular sentiment. And when we hear Chaitanya Charitamrita, ultimate idea is that we should revive our dormant love and try to serve the divine couples in Vrindavan while staying in this physical body in America or wherever you are. This is the ultimate. So in saying that, Srimati Radharani's 25 qualities we should elaborately discuss if possible, or at least see the next one. Yeah, we can say the slokas and see how far we can go. So this is 87 to 91. 87 to 91. Atha Vrindavanishcharja Kirtante Prabhuraguna Madhureyam Navo Vayaschala Pango Jalasmita Charu Sobhagya Rekhadha Gandhanmadito Madhava Sangita Prashara Vigna Ramavang Narma Pandita Vinita Koruna Purna Vidagda Patavanita Lajja Sila Sumarjada Dharja Gambi Jasalini Shuvilasa Mahabhava Parama Utkarsha Tarshini Gokula Prema Vasati Jagracha Nilo Sajjasa Gurva Pita Guru Sneha Sakhi Pranayita Vasha Krishna Priya Vali Mukha Santata Sava Keshava Bahuna Kim Gunastasya Sankhatita Hareriva. So just read the translation and then we can discuss a little more. Srimati Radharani's 25 chief transcendental qualities are: 1. She is very sweet. 2. She is always freshly youthful. 3. Her eyes are restless. 4. She smiles brightly. 5. She has beautiful, auspicious lines. 6. She makes Krishna happy with her bodily aroma. 7. She is very expert in singing. 8. Her speech is charming. 9. She is very expert in joking and speaking pleasantly. 10. She is very humble and meek. 11. She is always full of mercy. 12. She is cunning. 13. She is expert in executing her duties. 14. She is shy. 15. She is always respectful. 16. She is always calm. 17. She is always grave. 18. She is expert in enjoying life. 19. She is situated at the topmost level of ecstatic love. 20. She is reservoir of loving affairs in Gokul. 21. She is most famous of submissive devotees. 22. She is very affectionate to elderly people. 23. She is very submissive to the love of her friends. 24. She is the chief gopi. 25. She always keeps Krishna under her control. In short, she possesses unlimited transcendental qualities, just as Lord Krishna does. This verse also found in Ujjal Nilmani, Sri Radha Prakarana. So, this is just me. When you hear all this quality, in my condition, what am I supposed to think? This is great. She is the most wonderful devotee of all, and she's serving Krishna in a full extent. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur said that Srimati Radharani has a one quality actually. That one quality is to please Krishna every way, everywhere, anywhere, by any means, in any form, in any. That is the only quality Srimati Radharani has. And that one quality takes place into 25, to 108, to 360, in Jaiva Dharma explains, and unlimited. But the principle is only one, to please Krishna. Everything Srimati Radharani does only for Krishna's pleasure, period. In order to understand this, three things is very important. Tattva of Srimati Radharani, what is the truth that exists by its own right? What is Radharani's Swarup? What is her identity, personality? These are explaining here. And third, the pastime in relation to Krishna. These three things, the truth of Srimati Radharani Tattva, Radharani's Swarup, and Leela. When you start hearing all these three, Then with that combination, under guidance, always we should remember, under guidance of our spiritual master, our Diksha Guru, Shiksha Guru, Srila Prabhupada, and Guru Parampara, we will be able to, by their mercy, enter into that mystic domain. It is not a historical, it is not something written in the book only, it is actually mystical. Adhavadi sei lila kore gaurarai, kono kono bhagyavan jeev dekibare pai. Srila Prabhupada quote this verse that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Leela is still going on. You can still see Radha Krishna Leela, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Leela. But you have to be fortunate. And that fortune comes from the heart of Srimati Radharani and Krishna through their eternal associate. Or you can say Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to our Guru, to our heart. Jatha jatha gaura padara vinde vinde ta bhakti krita punna rasi tatha tatha sarapati ridi akasmat radha padambuja sudamburasi. Some or other, when we did some kind of pious, spiritual pious activity, bhakti unmukhi sukriti, not regular sukriti, bhakti unmukhi sukriti, then we have accumulated this pious credit. Then we have joined to Krishna Consciousness Society movement, a wonderful association of devotees, where you will grow as a servant of the servant of the servant of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And in your growing Krishna consciousness life, you will be surprised to see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's lotus feet in your heart. And these are the qualities of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's lotus feet. When you adore and relish, then you will see all of a sudden Srimati Radharani's lotus feet are placed. Tatha tatha sarpati ridhi akasmat radha padambujo sudhambarasi. These are the verdict of our acharyas. So Sri Vrindavan Vrishabhanu Nandini is our be all and end all and our very life's breath. This is Srimati Radharani's position. We can discuss. We can go on discussing for this forever. It's 10:45. Mataji asked me to stop at that time. Now what do we do? We have a question or we still discuss more?
Yes, Prabhuji, we can have questions and discussions. Thank you so much, Prabhu, for the very, very wonderful session, and it was so nice to hear from you. Very realized class, very, very beautiful, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, I just wanted to make a few comments and I had a question. So first of all, the very wonderful, especially the glories of course, Srimati Radharani, as it is described in these verses. And I liked a couple of points that you were saying. We understand that Srimati Radharani is the spiritual queen, but we should not be taking it for granted. And it's only by the mercy of Lord Chaitanya it's truly revealed to us today. And you also quoted that verse from Vishnu Purana. And you said, though it is there so much in Vishnu Purana, and the Sri Vaishnavas have read Vishnu Purana so thoroughly, but somehow it was never revealed until, by the mercy of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we have been able to access this mercy of Srimati Radharani. So thank you for that. That was very beautiful. I just had one question as you were mentioning about the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So is there any evidence or any scriptural reference or any quotes from our acharyas that actually tell us that Mahaprabhu changed the order of the mantra? Because I also see several arguments that Mahaprabhu really didn't change anything, and Hare Krishna Mahamantra is there in both ways in scriptures, both with the Hare Krishna first and the Hare Rama first. In different scriptures, it is spelled in different ways. So how do we understand this? Because we also hear from many devotees that Mahaprabhu changed. So is there any backup where we can see where Mahaprabhu has changed? Is it mentioned in any of our Acharya's works, or it is just something that we have developed over a period of time? Can you please clarify that point, Prabhuji? Thank you so much.
I don't have a exact reference, but I heard from a senior sannyasi class he mentioned. And we also see that some reference is given that both name is there. Kali Santaran Upanishad, the name is given there. But the speciality of Mahaprabhu is given that we focus in Chaitanya Charitamrita chapter 4. Se dware achandale kirtana sanchare nama prema malagati praila samsare. That conception of Ram as a Radharaman, that is only from Mahaprabhu's time given to very thoroughly. Before that, if you look at before Madhavendra Puri, nobody actually talked about that Ram is Radharaman. But our conception is, of course, we don't distinguish between Lord Ramchandra or Balaram or Parasuram. They are also Krishna in a sense. Not Parasuram, but the other are Vishnu Tattva, and he's a Shaptavesh avatar, but he's also Bhagavan's extension, incarnation. As for Lord Lord Krishna's supremacy, that the Krishna name is prominent even in the Mahamantra. When we say Hare Ram, it's actually Krishna. That was not given. That is true. Before Mahaprabhu came, before Madhavendra Puri came.
Yeah. Yes, Prabhupada.
So we can research and say I can send it probably email to Maharaj, and he's a very good standing sannyasi research. In Mayapur, actually, he gave the class in Gaur Purnima festival. And I was going to ask, but he did mention that he found something, so I'm not sure. I was not so much focusing on that. But I'll try. Yeah. Sure.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Thank you so much for being so kind. Thank you. And it was such a pleasure to have you on the call today, Prabhu. We are very fortunate.
Thank you. Thank you.
Anyone else who has any questions, comments, realizations, please go ahead. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you so much for class. I have a few questions, but I guess it'll be mostly review because there were points that I couldn't quite catch when you were explaining. But let me first follow up on this reversal of the order of Mahamantra. Can you explain again why Lord Chaitanya reversed it? Because I think the way it was originally, Hare Rama, that was supposed to be confidential, and because he wanted it to be public, that's why he reversed it. Is that correct understanding?
One explanation that Maharaj gave, I think it's a Bhakti Chaitanya Swami, that's right. He gave a Gaur Purnima lecture day before in Mayapur. That what I understood, that unless you are, this is record in a Shastra, that unless you are born in a Brahmana family, you do not have a eligibility to recite the mantras. The particular mantra is given for only Brahmana exclusively, that nobody else could recite. Even Ramayana has a story that Lord Ramchandra was going to punish a person who was trying to recite, acting like a Brahmana, but he was not born in a Brahmana. And then Hanumanji, of course, protected because he took shelter of Hanumanji. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he came, that Brahmana, there are two types of Brahmana. We are not talking about the Svabha Siddha. We are talking about Jata Siddha. Svabha Siddha means by qualification. In ISKCON we see that they are maybe born as a beef eater, but their qualification and their action that shows Brahmana, more than Brahmana, they're Vaishnava. So that is one category. But we are not talking about this. But the category that before Mahaprabhu came was in Varnashrama, that by birth they are already in Sattva-gun, so they take birth in a Brahmana family and they're supposed to be acting as a Brahmana. For them, only accessible to recite the mantras and nobody else. So when Mahaprabhu saw that, this is how I explained, that Mahaprabhu said that, oh, this is only limited to few. But he wanted to distribute love of Godhead. And some carrier has to be there. So Mahamantra actually carrying the Supreme Absolute Divinity also with love of Godhead together. This Mahamantra has a more beauty and sweetness than just the name, because love of Godhead is endowed with it. And that sloka in chapter 4, Adilila explained that. So Mahaprabhu changed that in that sense, according to Maharaj, that it is accessible for anybody.
So other mantras, they would carry God, but not necessarily love for God.
Correct. You know, even in ISKCON, unless somebody is a Brahman initiated, he is not allowed to go to altar. You know that, right?
Yes.
Okay. And even to offer or do those ceremony rituals, they have to be initiated Brahmana. So not everybody can chant all the mantras. But Mahamantra is exclusively mercy of Lord Chaitanya, that actually Mahamantra has all the mantras plus more. So Mahaprabhu gave this. That's even for the person who is in a abominable condition or, no qualification, still can chant. But still we do maintain some standard that even in ISKCON, that unless somebody is initiated in Brahmana, Gayatri Mantra, he is not allowed to do particular things in the altar, jagna, all these things. So it was the most important before Mahaprabhu came, that only Brahmana can chant those mantras, nobody else. And of course they were taking advantage of it. They were not really helping others. They took advantage of it. Mm-hmm. Prabhupada even regretted one time, he says this, Brahmana is the cause of all this unnecessary trouble in Indian Vedic culture. They were fanatic. They were not merciful.
Yeah, because even in those times, only Brahmanas were allowed. But even in those times, it wasn't supposed to be Brahmana by birth, right? It was still supposed to be Brahmana by qualification, isn't it?
Yes, but they were not focusing on it.
Yeah.
They were giving privilege of birth.
Yes. And also, when we say that the mantras carry God, but not necessarily love for God, when a mantra carries God without love for God, does that mean that the reciter of the mantra, they could, experience God or see God face to face in some way without having love for God? What does that actually mean, to experience God, or for a mantra to carry God without the love for God? What will that reciter experience?
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Very nice. You heard it well. There is a famous verse Prabhupada also quotes, Avaishnava mukhad gina uto hari kathamritam savana naiva kartibbam sarpochista jathapaya. Prabhupada quote this many times. I heard that milk is very nourishing to the body, but if milk is taken by snake or snake touch it and inject with the poison, but that milk does not hold anymore the quality of the milk that nourishes body. Rather, it's opposite. It kills the body. Because it doesn't have any, but it looks like milk though. Even the snake drank from it. So when somebody don't have a proper conception of God, rather like for an example, Mayavadis, they do not believe there is an eternal relationship with soul and God. They don't believe there is eternal form. They don't believe there is eternal pastime. They don't believe 7 things. I mean, they go on. So when they chant, they may have a very sweet melodious voice, but it does not have Krishna or his Srimati Radharani and what to talk about love. Even they don't exist in that name. Those names are just alphabet. They just a letter. They don't even have the substantial substance with that singing. And at the same time, those who have love for the Lord, when they sing, it carries the substance of God. Nama Vigraha Sarup Tina Ekarup. The holy name and the deity and the Lord himself, they are all one. But according to the chanter, they are different. Mm-hmm. Holy name is always like a full moon. You can see like that. Holy name is compared to full moon, Mahaprabhu says. But full moon is calculated from the dark moon to the 16 days is full moon. So dark moon is the absence of full moon is also counted as a part of the full moon, because there has to be, you have to accept 0 in order to calculate. So similarly, you have to accept dark moon, then first day, second day, Prathama, Ditya, Tritiya, like this, it goes all the way to 15, plus the dark moon is 16, Sulaka Langsha, Purna Bhagavan. So supreme, pure name is always like a full moon, but not everybody has access of full moon. Somebody could be atheist, means he's seeing dark moon. Somebody is in a 5 days crescent. They see little part of God. They don't know complete aspect of God. But moon is always complete. Holy name is always complete. Mm-hmm. That is true. Mm-hmm. But where I am positioned, my perception may not be there. My access is not there. It makes sense?
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's a shorter version.
If you have, I don't know, Mayavadi conception, atheistic conception, or even just maybe Paramatma conception, even though you are chanting the Maha Mantra the way Lord Chaitanya gave it, then your realization of Krishna will be limited by that conception. Is that how it goes?
Sure. What you are hitting the nice point. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu giving means it has to come through a devotee who follows Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, proper mood. Not that Mahaprabhu gave and I'm chanting, but I don't want to take subordination of a great personality who understood Mahaprabhu. In other words, I cannot force His grace to manifest, or I cannot alternate by my own endeavor. Okay, I'm going to do it 64 rounds chanting and I'll make love of God to manifest. No. Just by our own force, our own endeavor, tremendous austerity, cannot replace or cannot force to come down. It has to come down by the mercy. Our endeavor is seeking for mercy. So when we endeavor, then the mercy automatically comes. And mercy came means we are endeavoring. It goes. But endeavor itself, on my own, I will force the grace to appear, not possible. That is Mahaprabhu's teaching. So if Mayavadi comes, actually Mayavadi came because one lecture Prabhupada did say, nowadays a lot of Mayavadis are joining also in our movement. So in our Krishna consciousness movement, we have a Mayavadis also according to Prabhupada. But they were Mayavadi, but they are not Mayavadi now. But if somebody don't embrace the philosophy of Prabhupada, given Mahaprabhu's philosophy completely, they may still contain some concept of Mayavad.
But since the mantra is always Krishna, even if a person is trying to do something by, independently by his own endeavor, chant the mantra by his own endeavor only, he should get some purification anyway, right? Because the mantra is Krishna.
Yes. In that sense, that Mahaprabhu will send somebody to help him. Krishna is in the heart. And if somebody actually sincerely try, that sincerity, the Chaitanya Guru is there in the heart also, will guide. Somebody will guide. Mahaprabhu will send. This age is wonderful, Kali Yuga. Those who are intelligent, he says, Gunagga Saravagina. Those who are intelligent, they actually worship this age. But internally, but externally, this age has, bad things happen. I go to the grocery store, I see sometimes, not intentionally, but sometimes you see the beef products and it doesn't bother. And I ask myself, how come it doesn't bother? Such a violence act. And when Sutta Goswami was explaining about that in Kali Yuga, they will kill the cow, all these 88,000 sages, I was told, that fainted. They could not imagine that people will tolerate seeing cow meat. But we see that, so the ignorance doesn't mean like people are disturbed easily. People are so ignorant actually right now. Their ignorance thickness is so heavy. They see all these horrible things, but it doesn't bother. So that's why Mahaprabhu came to give the highest in a lowest form. In a lowest form, not in a lowest form, but in an easiest form, I would say. Easiest. Because in Satya Yuga, you have to meditate 100,000 years to see the Lord. And then that Lord form may not be giving you love of Godhead, may give you bhakti. Bhakti and love of Godhead are little different, slight, because we are discussing about Srimati Radhika.
Oh.
Is that okay?
Yeah, I think so.
They will get benefit for sure. Krishna will arrange, even from within.
But I'm saying
guide.
even for a person who does have, let's say, Mayavadi conception, when that person chants the Maha Mantra,
yes, will he get benefit?
Yeah.
Well, question is how he heard about Maha Mantra.
Oh. Mhm.
If he heard from the Hare Krishna book or the chanting Hare Krishna, that means he already catching the benefit, mercy of those devotees.
Mhm. But if he
So by
heard
the
from,
mercy of the devotee, yeah, go ahead.
but if he heard from some other source, it's still Krishna, isn't it? And there
Yes,
should be
full moon is always full moon, but the person, if he's, close the blind and I don't want to see the sun, it's not possible to see the sun.
because what I'm referring to is what we always hear, that you cannot come in contact with the holy name without some benefit being there, without some purification being there. Like fire.
That is true.
So
That
that's
is
why
true.
I'm asking this, what is
Yes.
the effect of that fire for such a person?
He will burn out all the sinful nature. It's the installment, so many installments of chanting. Chanting has always benefit. Anybody chant, even the most offender.
Mm-hmm.
Even most offender chanting is better than not chanting. So if anybody chant, is always good, whatever level they are. That is another question. But we should always encourage, yes, if somebody is chanting, let them keep on chanting. And if they have a Mayavad conception, by the way, just to let you know, if you look at in Bhagavad Gita chapter 4, text 10, in the middle of the purport, I remember, I don't have the book right in front of me. Vitarago bhayakruda manmaya mama sita bhovo gena tapasa putam madbhavam agrata. In that verse, middle to the end, you will see that Prabhupada says everybody is born with three attachments. One is negligence of spiritual life, and the second is actually Mayavadi. That means people are born already in Kali Yuga. One time, Srila Prabhupada in Chicago was giving lecture, and he was very heavy on this Mayavad conception, that how they are actually damaging the soul's eternal relationship by giving wrong conception. And he was expressing was very little heavy. So Keshav Bharati Prabhu, he was sitting there, and he thought, well, these people are probably a group of Mayavadi in India that Prabhupada is very angry with. So after the class, he said, so Prabhupada, I'm sorry, is there a group like you are very upset with them? Prabhupada said, no, I'm talking about you. He was like, what? About me? What? So then later on Prabhupada says that in this age, everybody has a contamination of Mayavad. And then Bhagavad Gita, that 4:10, you'll see in the purport that Prabhupada died. So I looked at on my own. Even I had Mayavad conception, and I'm praying to get rid of completely. Hopefully by their mercy, everything will disappear, because Bhakti, Hare Krishna Mahamantra is so powerful, extremely powerful. Any level of purification can be done. Hare Krishna Mahamantra is so powerful, extremely. We cannot calculate. There is no calculation. Beyond calculation.
But as you said, because even if a confirmed Mayavadi person gets the mantra through a Vaishnav, then the effect on him will be different than, right?
Of
than
course.
if he got it from somebody.
Of course. Yes. Because at the core of our existence, we are servant of Krishna. We have a relationship with Krishna. That we cannot deny. And that is so sweet relationship. So Mayavad, all this conception has no root in the soul's constitutional position. All this offensive nature or these are not, has no root in the eternal existence of soul. But Hare Krishna Mahamantra is directly giving the boon benediction to the soul. So then all these things disappears, all contamination.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yes, nice point. That if something does not have any eternal truth to it, then it can't, I guess, lie.
Temporarily, it can block our perception, but ultimately nothing.
Mm-hmm.
It's all pure, beautiful. Thank you for asking such a nice question.
No, thank you for your answers. I know I've been on a long time. I did have another question, but maybe I should give somebody else a chance if there is, and if you have time also.
I have time. If nobody else is there, I can stand.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dana Pranam or glories to Shri Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. Prabhuji, it's a very nice class actually came in the conference, gave the class. And just I have a very simple question, Prabhu. How, because in this age, to approach to Radharani is very, very rare. But for us, there is accessible. Means how we can approach to her. Means it's like we are praying to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and through her, getting her mercy, or through we can pray to her directly. How we can pray and get her blessings.
Are you asking how you can get the mercy of Srimati Radharani?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Are you initiated?
Yes, Prabhu.
What you are getting from Guru?
Hare Krishna Mahamantra.
That beginning of our process, we begin with Shraddha, initial faith. Prabhupada also gave that the seed that Guru gives is a little taste. That itself is the Amurta form of Radharani. When the Parasya Shakti Vividaiva Suyate, Parasya Shakti, that Natasya Karjam Karanam Cha Vidyate, Natada Bhadikasya Dishyate. Supreme Absolute Truth, he does not do anything. He is always enjoying. And he has only one Shakti, one potency. That potency, when takes the form, is called Srimati Radharani. Murta. Lokalabhina. When not taking the form, then it also comes in a form of initiation, Shraddha, Sadhu Sangha. By her mercy, you already got her mercy. Initiation in Hare Krishna Mahamantra through proper Guru Parampara itself is Srimati Radharani. Like for an example, Prahlad Maharaj could go to Nishingadev and Lakshmi Devi was afraid. You heard that, right? Lakshmi Devi was afraid because she never saw her husband such a few years. Scary form. So she said, oh, Ugra Rupam, I'm so scared. I don't want to go. I never saw my husband this most fearful form. So everybody, some or other, could not go. Finally, Prahlad Maharaj went. Then question comes, is Prahlad Maharaj's position higher than Lakshmi Devi? This is not a good understanding. Because in Brihad Bhagavatamrita, that verse is explaining that it is actually by the mercy of Lakshmi Devi. Lakshmi Devi is direct energy of the Nishingadev. But there is a variety manifestation. Certain pastime the coward boys can do that the gopis may not be able to do. Some certain pastime Mother Jashoda does, Srimati Radharani doesn't do that. That doesn't mean it is less. From the neutral position, maybe you can see there is a difference. Tadastha hoiya vicharele ache taratamma. But in an ultimate understanding, actually everything is for Krishna's pleasure. It is by the mercy of Srimati Radharani. Everything is happening. Similarly, by the mercy of Lakshmi Devi, Prahlad actually could go and teach the Lord. So similarly, Radharani's mercy is already in our life. We got initiated, means we have the mercy of Radharani. But that Radharani comes in a form of bhakti, then it takes us slowly she grows from Shraddha to Sadhu Sangha to Bhajana Kriya to Anartha Nivritti. All the way it becomes that love. What is the proof? It's in Chaitanya Chaitamita Adilila. Ladiniro saro prem, prema saro bhav, bhavero paramakasya nam mahabhav. Mahabhava Swarupini, Sirada Thakurani, Sarvaguna Khani, Krishna Kanta Siromani. That potency, when it takes the form, the ultimate is Mahabhav. And who is the form of that Mahabhav? Is Radharani, Radha Thakurani. So you are already fortunate. And more you start appreciating, you will see that appreciation is very important. Grateful attitude is number one necessary for every person. Grateful attitude means you count the blessing. You see your consciousness changing from wrong atheistic view, from demigod worship view, from one devotee told me other day, I never into demigod worship. I said, did you like Elizabeth Taylor's movie when you are a young man? He said, oh yeah. I said, so you are a demigod worshipper. What do you mean demigod worshipper? I said, when you adore another personality, demigod is not just a demigod that we hear about Hindu conception or Veda conception. Demigod means when you don't see the great qualities only coming from Radha Krishna to the different personality, but we adore those personality, but we don't adore the origin source of that possessor of those personalities. So similarly, we are coming from different background. We are not just aware, but when we really appreciate, and then we start counting, wow, I got mercy of the devotee. Devotees are so kind. Krishna is so kind through the devotee. He is giving me this mercy. Krishna is so kind. Krishna deserves to get credit for everything, every moment from each of us. Whether we give or not, that's different. But Krishna deserves, because it is Him, the most compassionate, most kind to all His energy, especially the souls, especially the conditioned soul, especially conditioned soul in this Kali Yuga. But how would we experience that Radharani's mercy in our life? We should start appreciating. Then that connection will be, the dots will be filled up, and then we'll experience in our heart the mercy of Srimati Radharani is coming through Guru. Baladev Prabhu gives, Balaram gives Suddha Sattva connection. Srimati Radharani gives the mood to serve Krishna, and Krishna gives the relationship you have. So through Guru, when you're getting all these three, it is nothing but Radha Krishna and Baladev Prabhu. Because when you serve Guru, when you serve Krishna, you need a favorable sentiment. And if you say yes, that favorable sentiment comes from Srimati Radharani. So when you feel, okay, I'm offering this food to Krishna, oh, I want to hurry up because we are hungry. That's one motivation. We don't want to eat without offering. But if you say, oh, this is so nicely cooked, I really want Lord to eat. Where are you getting this sentiment? It is Radharani. It's coming from her. So we start appreciating, oh, Srimati Radharani is giving me mercy to feel that way to offer this to Krishna. So like that. This is a shorter version, I hope. You get this some extent.
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you so much.
Thank you. So we end the class now? Or how do we go? I'm new.
I think Gaurangi Mataji has...
Oh, thank you. Mataji. Yes, I did have one other thing I wanted to clarify for myself. When you were making the statement, something like, although the 10 avatars are all that same one entity who we call Krishna, it is not that he is directly manifesting them. I think you said something like that, but it's by Radharani. I didn't understand that point at that time when you were saying something about this.
It is one God. God is only one. But that one God, are you there?
Yes.
Oh, I heard some sound. I didn't notice. I just dropped. That one God manifests many forms, unlimited forms, according to each devotee's individual sentiment to love him. It is Krishna, but for a particular sentiment to that devotee. For a Saptavrata Muni, it is, you can say, it was a feast incarnation, but then he fall in love with Vrindavan Krishna. Maharaj Kulashekar also did that. Many example is given in life that, let's say you heard about Hanumanji. Hanumanji quoted a beautiful verse. Srinate Janakinate Ubhayastu Paramatmane Tathapi Sarvasya Mamas Rama Kamalalochana. He said, I know that Sri, Nath, Sri means Lakshmi Devi, Nath means Narayan or the husband of Lakshmi Devi. I know that Lakshmi Narayan, Paramatma, all are one. Sitaram, all are one. There is no difference. But my Ram is my Ram. How can I think anybody else? This is proper understanding. That yes, all the incarnation are same. We have to be very careful because this is the same God. But each devotee evoke a particular sentiment to be exhibited, and a particular form of Krishna is revealed to them. Now, you don't expect Varaha, the pig incarnation, a big pig body, to dance with Srimati Radharani. Generally, we never heard a pastime like that. But Radharani, even Narayan dancing with Radharani, you never hear. Now you may ask the question, but can it happen? Well, it is not possible. Why? Because it's already done. Krishna actually dressed as a Narayan, not dressed, but he has a Narayan within him. The Narayan form was there. But when Radharani was coming, he could not take any form, even Narayan form. His other two hands started going inside. He was forced to take, by the love of Radharani, to that Brajendanandan. Two beautiful handed form with the playing flute, three-banded. He could not resist any form. So it is the love of lover causes the beloved to particular form. When Hanumanji arrived in Dwarka, there is a pastime going on. I mean, these many pastimes like this. Krishna even asked Satyabhama and Rukmini Devi. First he asked one wife if she could do it. She said no. Then he asked another wife to take the form of Sita Devi. So Satyabhama did. And when Hanumanji came, he didn't see Krishna. He didn't see Krishna or Rukmini Devi or Satyabhama. Of course, Lord Krishna took the huge form because Hanuman was so giant form. And his queen also took a beautiful big form. So he paid obeisance, but while he was passing by, there's very details about this pastime. So my point is that Lord Krishna reciprocated with Hanuman as a Ram, even though he was in Krishna Rupam form in Dwarka. Why? Because the love Hanumanji has. He does not see any other form, only Ram. And Krishna all the time. And you know, Mahaprabhu, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we are the follower of Mahaprabhu, the most magnificent Lord. Mahaprabhu actually made a statement. Glory to that God who never gives up his beautiful form for that particular devotee and never gives up his relationship with the devotee. And glory to that devotee who never gives up his relationship with his Lord. And you can find in Chaitanya Bhagavat how Anupam was tried by Mahaprabhu, inspiring through Rupa Goswami to meditate on Radha Krishna, and Anupam failed. As soon as he started thinking of Radha Krishna, Sitaram just appeared in front of him. Same thing with Murari Gupta. So it is the love of individual. Mataji, you are holding a particular sentiment for Krishna. When in your mature, Prabhupada told to Upendra Prabhu in 1968, in your mature stage of pure devotional service, you will realize that particular relationship with Krishna in a particular form, that you will never be satisfied with any other form. You want only that form.
Yeah, this point I've understood, but when it comes to those 10 incarnations, like let's take Varahadev. Does that form manifest in response to some soul's desire to have a relationship with him in that form? You know,
yes.
Or the Matsya avatar? Are those also just like how Ram manifests to Hanuman? Is it the same?
Yes. We may not have full details in our
scriptures.
Bhagavatam so much. We generally hear about the demon fighting Hiranyaksha with Varahadev.
Mm-hmm.
But if you look at I'm sure you have Bhagavad Gita. You have Bhagavad Gita in your shelf?
Oh yeah, of course.
You look at it. Chapter 4, verse 8. And in the purport, Prabhupada put very nicely, if I recall, he said the incarnation descend from the kingdom of God for material manifestation. That means all these incarnations, they have their origin in Vaikuntha, not that they appear only here. And particular form of the personality of Godhead who so descend is called an incarnation. That means Varahadev is there in Vaikuntha, where he has his devotees and everything. But he may not have mother. That is why, anyway, that's a different direction we are going. That's because that discussion took place also. That until Nishingadev appeared, all the incarnation did not have mother, parents, Bhaksularas. After Nishingadev appeared, all the incarnation has a parents. So if you look at that Bhagavad Gita, that verse from Chaitanya Charitamrita, Prabhupada put this very nicely explained. That all incarnation that we see in the material world, they have their origin in Vaikuntha. They have an unlimited devotees serving them in that form. And those devotees are also in that form. They are called Bimba, Anubimba, Pratibimba. Bimba means their original form, and their servant called Anubimba, who served the Lord. And when they come to this material world, their reflection in the material world is Pratibimba. So peak form in the material world is nothing to do with the spiritual world peak form, but it's just a reflection. Reflection doesn't have a substance. So Baradevi is there.
But you remember when you had said that these incarnations, you connected Radharani to these incarnations, because you said they weren't like Krishna doesn't directly manifest. You said it's by Radharani. Do you remember that?
Correct. In the same chapter where you're reading, and if you go to the 6th verse, chapter 4, and Prabhupada
Wait, you're referring to CC now or Gita?
No, Bhagavad Gita,
okay.
chapter 4, Ajopi san abhyatma, famous verse Prabhupada quote, Bhutanam ishwaropi sham, prakritim sham adhisthaya sambhavami atmamayaya. Atmamayaya, if you look at word by word, by my internal energy. So Lord manifests all his form by my internal energy. I don't know you, Mataji, but I'll tell you a little funny story of Prabhupada about this.
Oh, please.
There was one devotee in Calcutta. His name is Atma Singh. And I was serving in Mayapur and Calcutta many years back in early 80s. Late 80s I left. And this Atma Singh, he used to come and chant. And he asked Prabhupada a question. Who came first, Maharaj? Is Lord Chaitanya is eternal, Lord Krishna is eternal, but in this day of Brahma, Krishna came first, then Lord Chaitanya. But in eternal world, who came first? Is it Lord Chaitanya or Lord Krishna, or how to understand? And Prabhupada says, Radharani came first. Because, why Prabhupada said this is very funny, because Prabhupada is right, 100%. Because it is Radharani, internal potency actually who manifests the Lord form. That's why we don't chant Krishna. We say Hare Krishna. We always address through the energy.
So even the original blue cowherd boy form, bent in 3 places, holding the flute, is that supposed to be a manifestation of Radharani energy?
Radharani is the one only energy of Krishna who manifests Krishna's form. Originally, Radharani is always eternally existing in the heart of Krishna. You heard the conception of Atmaram?
Yes.
Atmaramata and Pararamata?
Mm-hmm.
Atmaramata means when Lord is completely satisfied. He doesn't need anybody to please him. That form is how he is fully satisfied, because Srimati Radharani within, inside him, pleasing him.
Yes.
But then, maybe in future, I'll give you a little detailed explanation how actually this desire, because that's a vast topic, how this desire developed in the Lord to have Srimati Radharani outside also. But when Radharani outside, still she is inside, simultaneously.
Yeah.
So the desire, that's a whole another conception we have to discuss.
But this question, I guess I didn't understand your answer. I was asking if that original Krishna, 2-armed Krishna form that we see, is that a manifestation of Srimati Radharani's energy? Is it by her energy that form manifests?
She is the energy. She doesn't have a separate energy. She is the energy of Krishna.
Yeah, I know.
And when Krishna originally took that form, that is also Radha Krishna are eternally together. They are not possible to be separated. But then when you say Radha Krishna's beautiful form manifested in one place, yes, that if you study on the Nectar of Devotion how this internal energy takes a different form. Vividaiva Sruyate. It is one energy, but by the function has a different name. So there's a prominent is Satchidananda. Sandini, you are familiar with those words, am
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Sandini,
Ladini.
Ladini, and Sambit.
Yes.
The Sandini means the pure existential potency. That is also Radharani. At the same time, it is not Radharani. Why? Because that potency actually makes Krishna's form the most beautiful, unparalleled. So in Tattvagata Vichar, consideration of Tattva, it is Radharani. At the same time, for consideration of pastimes, it is not.
Mm-hmm. Yes, yes.
So Bhakti Devi is Radharani, but is also not Radharani. Why? Because Bhakti Devi is non-different from Radharani. They are one Tattva. But for the Leela, she comes separately from Radharani and she makes Krishna dance, she makes Radharani dance, she makes herself dance. Wait, is she not Radharani? Yes, in consideration of Tattva, truth.
Yes.
But in consideration of Leela, she is separate.
Mm-hmm. So, therefore, can we say that in terms of Tattva, Krishna's two-armed blue form is Radharani, but in terms of Leela, not?
I'm sorry. Hold on one second. My earphone actually died. One second. Okay. Can you say it again one more time?
Yes.
I'm sorry.
So therefore, based on what you just said, is it correct to say that in terms of Tattva, Krishna's two-armed blue form is Radharani? It's a manifestation of Radharani. But in terms of Leela, we would not say that.
Correct. You have there's a famous verse in Chaitanya Charitamrita, also in chapter 4. Radha Krishna eki swarup lila ras asadite dhare dui rup. Let me think where I read it. This is that Radha Krishnas are eternally one. But to relish the transcendental mellow, they took two different forms. This is polymorphic bimonotheism. If you are familiar with that, monoism, pantheism, monotheism, panentheism, polytheism, then polymorphic monotheism, polymorphic bimonotheism. That conception, the last conception, is what Mahaprabhu's gift. This is very high conception because majority of the world is mostly monotheism, monoism or monotheism. Or polytheism is also there, like Hindus. Monoism, most of the biggest religion in the world is monoism. And monotheism is like Christianity also has this. We don't say the name, but if you look at their canon, the philosophy behind their spiritual belief, we categorize, we see where it is. It's all explained by Mahaprabhu. But the Mahaprabhu's conception is so high, polymorphic bimonotheism, that one God has a two forms, including feminine, masculine, all in one. Because one of my friends, Guru Krishna Prabhu's mother, told him that why you guys worship only masculine aspect of God. Man, God is a man. You don't believe God can be woman? So he called me and I remember we were talking. I said, well, you have to put it into explanation. I don't know how much she will grasp it, but she can, if you try, as a son, you should do that service to your mother. Explain her thoroughly. It may take few days. That what Mahaprabhu came to give, it is beyond man and woman. But externally, it is masculine and feminine together. Radha Krishna together is one. If you look at those verses, even number 5, you know the famous verse that number 5, Adilila, chapter 1, that they are one. Then they became 2. Now they are becoming again one as Lord Chaitanya. It's very interesting. So it's not, our conception is so complete, no doubt can ever rise. So it is Radharani and Krishna together. At the same time, they are also 2 separate personality. Is it possible like they become one and no more 2? No, it's eternally also 2, eternally also 1. But originally they are all one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the 2 is just for the sake of Leela.
Yes. Now both are again one, as Lord Chaitanya. Very interesting.
Yeah, because, you know, what I'm accustomed to hearing that, you know, Radharani became manifest because Krishna wanted to have pastime with her, the loving pastime with her. You can only have loving pastime if there's 2. But I feel like I'm just hearing for the first time now that Krishna's form is a manifestation of the energy of Radharani.
Radharani herself manifests Krishna's form, yes. Maybe in next class we can discuss these little details because the breakdown should be there in order to conceive it thoroughly.
Yeah.
Then that will be more clear.
Yeah. Yeah.
For an example, you know, like sweetness of sugar is neither in the sugar nor in the tongue, but in the union of the 2,
mm-hmm.
it is experience.
Mm-hmm.
Something like that.
Yeah,
there
it's
are
a
many
nice analogy
examples.
to think about. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you also very much for hanging in there with me, Prabhu. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, and you did say that the reason why Srila Prabhupada stopped writing Srimad Bhagavatam in order to do the CC is because the CC has all of the important verses of the Bhagavatam.
That's one aspect. That's one aspect. Also, what is Bhagavatam? How is the ideal dharma, loving sentiment to Krishna exhibited by Mahaprabhu? So Mahaprabhu's pastime, Mahaprabhu's teaching was very important because Mahaprabhu is the person Bhagavat. All his associate is person Bhagavat. And then when we read the Bhagavatam, we wonder like how it is possible to demonstrate that kind of love, give up all the desire like Dhruva Maharaj. Well, you see Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's time, this is exhibited there. So it was very nice. Prabhupada gave so nicely important things important. Thank you for paying nice attention.
Thank you so much for a very informative class. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji, and thank you all for the very wonderful discussion. Lot to ponder about. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mata.
Thank you again.
How often you have this class?
We have it. Chaitanya Charitamrita is Monday to Thursday at this time, and then Friday is Prabhupada Leelamrita, and Saturday, Sunday is for kids.
Wow.
And early morning is Srimad Bhagavatam class every day, Monday to Sunday, every day. Early morning Srimad Bhagavatam class, mid-morning Chaitanya Charitamrita class, and other classes. So that is our schedule, Prabhu. And Prabhuji, we humbly invite you to please come more often on the call This association was really wonderful. So we'll get back in touch with you. I know you're very busy, but sometime when you have a free slot, please consider coming and giving us your association. We'll stay in touch with you and see if you can come more often on the call, Prabhuji.
Okay. You please let me know and I'll
Thank
see.
you.
Krishna. Thank you for engaging. Jai Srila
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Vancha
Hare Krishna.
Pavanebhyo Vaishnavyo की जय, श्री चैतन्य चरितामृता की जय, श्री प्रभुपाद की जय, His Grace प्राण गोविंद प्रभु की जय.
Very wonderful class. A very nice discussion as well. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much.